Hey guys, Mark Holmes here with, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, they always tell me, don't quit your day job, basically because you suck. And I haven't. I've been wrapping my head around the Calvin Ridley trade and trying to figure out. I'm sorry.
Calvin Ridley does not play for the Alabama. Plays for Matt Falcons.
My Alzheimer's is setting in. Excuse me. He was on my mind because he's actually part of this video. Thank you, Michael, as always, for keeping me straight. You got to put a little bit bigger dabs on it. Been trying to get this Amari Cooper trade in my mind, whether or not it's a good idea or not, and try to figure out what were the Cowboys thinking when they made that move.
It's not a good idea.
Well, here's the
Not
thing.
for number one.
Okay. Michael, what do you think the biggest needs the team's going to have for next year?
It's still not worth number one.
Well, no. I'm just saying, okay. Do you think we need to draft a wide receiver next year?
Not number one.
Who are you going to draft at number one then?
Not a wide receiver.
Well, to me, you need, okay. Well, we definitely disagree because I look at it and say, we need a wide receiver in the worst way. I mean in the worst way. I don't know how you can look at it and not think that we don't need a wide receiver. So, hypothetically, let's say because we have nobody other than Measly Beasley at wide receiver, that you would end up drafting a wide receiver. Okay? Wide receivers, generally speaking, take a couple of years before they really make an impact. Very rarely do they come out the box and they're a Pro Bowler. Very rarely. It does happen, but it's very rare. So if we actually,
What about Calvin Ridley?
He hasn't been a Pro Bowler yet.
Yeah, but he got how many? He got 3 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, right.
That's better than what we're doing.
Oh, I agree. But here's the thing. Let's take a look at.
And he wasn't. I don't think he was drafted number one.
Okay. In the first round. Let's look since 2016. The wide receivers that were drafted. Because when I took a little break here, I decided to do a little work. The Redskins got Josh Dotson. Okay. 21st pick. In the time he's been with the Redskins, 48 receptions, 678 yards, 14.1 average, 6 TDs. This is his third year. He's only got 48 catches. You got Lawan Treadwell, drafted in 16 as well. 43 catches, 406 yards, 9.4, 1 TD. That's 2.5 seasons. You got Corey Coleman, first round draft pick, 2016. 56 receptions, 718 yards, 12.8 per reception, and no TDs. We go to 17. John Ross, first round pick. 7 receptions, 79 yards, 11.3, 2 TDs. Mike Williams, 28 receptions, 403 yards, 414, 4 TDs. Corey Davis, 64 receptions, 770 yards, 12 yards per reception, and 1 TD. So when you think about that, let's look at Calvin Ridley, who you just said. Right now he's got 27 receptions, 392 yards, 14.4, 6 TDs. Clearly, he's the best one thus far. And DJ Moore has got 13 receptions, 191 yards, 14 receptions. So what you're getting is Amari Cooper is only 6 months older than Calvin Ridley. He's already got 2 Pro Bowls to his list. He's got 225 receptions, 3,183 yards, 19 TDs. He's got experience, Mike.
I still don't think it's worth number one.
Well, we're gonna agree to disagree. I didn't think so at first, but
I don't think so.
now that I think about it, listen, he's got experience.
That don't mean nothing.
He's a play. What do you mean? Don't mean nothing?
Just because you got experience doesn't mean you're worth the number one pick.
Well, I'm looking at all these guys that I just read in here.
I still don't think it's worth number
All
one.
these guys in here aren't getting numbers any better than what our receivers are now.
Still doesn't negate.
Amari Cooper's got a hell of a lot better track record than any of these guys do right now in the pros.
But what happened with Will Williams?
Yeah,
That same thing that
it's possible. But
exactly.
you know what? It's possible that we could end up drafting a John Ross who's only got 7 catches and 79 yards. So time will tell, but the more I look at this, the more I'm beginning to like it, actually, because now you got somebody who's going to be an immediate impact. This year he's not costing you jack because it's actually a fully guaranteed contract for next year. So you don't, it's going to still cost you 13 next year, but because they already picked up that 5th-year option. But if he works out, you can sign him to a long-term contract, or worst case, you can end up franchise tagging him. So from the standpoint of getting somebody who's going to be an immediate impact, hopefully, as opposed to waiting until next year in the draft, because clearly to me, you're going to have to draft a wide receiver early next year. I'm beginning to like it now. Time will tell. Michael?
Roy Williams.
Or Joey Galloway.
Roy Williams.
It's possible.
Roy Williams.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my man.
All right.
What's his name? Shango said this could be another Roy Williams. And I'm sticking with that.
And it could be a Jerry Rice. Me and Michael will agree to disagree. And we'll revisit this as the season goes on. One of us is going to say, I told you. He might be saying, I told you it was Roy Williams.
Are you going to be okay with Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan keeping their jobs if he plays good? Because if he plays good, then they're going to keep their jobs.
And herein lies the problem.
They'll keep their jobs.
Man, I just want to win, man. Damn. But see, he had to rain on my parade, didn't he?
It's the truth, though. Saving Jason Garrett's job. I
think Scott Linehan's gone regardless.
I don't think so. I think if this boy plays good and we're 10-6, they keep their jobs.
I'd be okay with 10-6 and a chance.
Not talking about and they keep their jobs. If we have a good season, they're keeping their jobs. No one's gonna get fired.
Yeah, I think I think Linehan's gonna be gone.
I don't think so.
I think it's been too much drama in there because with the fact that Jerry went ahead and pulled the trigger on this one, to me says I'm looking for some changes and things, and this goes against what Scott Linehan wanted to do. Remember, it was Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett's idea to go through wide receiver by committee.
No, I think it was more of.
They were the ones that wanted to get rid of Dez Bryant.
I think it was Scott Linehan.
Well, right,
exactly. Not like him.
Well, he doesn't like Rico either. You see how they're sparingly using him. He's only using him out of because they're making him.
You know what's his name? Carrot Top is only a follower, not a leader.
Ooh,
it's true though. It's true.
Like I said, I'm beginning to like this more. I'm going to open up those cactuses. Got to insulate the wall. Basically, we're making this like a cooler. We use metal furring strips to save space on the walls, and you use the styrofoam insulation to give you your R value. But see, now you done messed with my head, man.
I'm keeping it 100. That's the same thing that Shango said. Are y'all gonna be okay with keeping Jason Garrett if the guy plays good? He's the one that said it. He's the one that started it.
I don't like you no more. I'm taking applications for a new son. If anybody out there wants to replace Michael.
It's gonna be more Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan.
See? Why my son want to treat me like this?
If the boy played good,
I was feeling good, feeling happy and everything else, and now he done rained on my parade.
Jason Garrett still be.
Okay, but my cousin here, the Redskin fan, let me ask you, because this directly affects your team. How do you feel about Santana Dotson, wide receiver? Have you been disappointed? He was the #1 draft pick.
He ain't panned out.
Right.
He hasn't panned out.
Right, he hasn't panned out. #1 draft pick, 21st pick. I had
That's not guaranteed.
his number. He's got 48 catches now in 2.5 seasons.
48, 2.5 years.
He was drafted in 2016.
Shit, I can do that.
678 yards. So that's my point of saying that maybe Calvin Ridley wasn't such a bad idea. I'm just kidding, Calvin Ridley. Amari Cooper wasn't such a bad idea.
I wish we would have got Calvin Ridley.
You got way better statistics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, in age-wise, Calvin Ridley, he's only 6 months older than Calvin Ridley, but he's got 2 Pro Bowls to his. He's only 24, so he's been to Pro Bowl 2 years. He's got over 225 catches, 3,100 yards. So you got somebody's experience. If you say that number one was too much to give up, you're going to have to draft a wide receiver next year, and none of these wide receivers here have panned out. So that's the argument here on the job site. My son has now said that, yeah, if he works, we're going to keep Jason Garrett, and just messed up my day.
That's still your problem. That's
Oh.
irrelevant. I mean, I ain't
Even the
a damn
Redskin fan does.
fan.
Yeah. You know, I was listening to Doc on the way in, and he pointed, y'all got the same problem we do, coaches.
Oh, yeah.
You know, your coach is not any better than Jason Garrett. But he pointed out, and I've always said this before too, that when Joe Gibbs came to the Redskins, Joe Gibbs was from Air Coryell.
Yeah.
He wanted to light up the ball. And they started out 0-5, and he realized about 3 weeks in to the season, I don't have those horses for that. And he changed his philosophy to fit his personnel. My team don't do that. And that's why we continue to lose.
Your coach.
It's our coach. I agree with that.
Coach and owner. Because he wanted to call the shot.
Yeah, well, that's it for the job site. One of us is going to be talking some smack.
I will when Jason Garrett and Scott Lee still has their job.
So you'll be you'll be happy about that?
I won't be happy about it, but I'll be right.
He gonna have his job because Jerry Jones is calling the shot. That's why y'all got rid of the dude who took y'all back-to-back to Super Bowl. He said, man, I'm not putting up with that bullshit. This is my team. You own it, but I'm running it.
Yeah.
That's why he gone. He ain't been back in.
Hard to argue with the Redskin fan on that one.
I actually won one after Johnson left.
Yeah, but that was the same team.
That was not because that was in spite of him, not
I
because
understand
of
that, but
him.
at least he won one after him.
That was the same team.
What has Jason Garrett won since one playoff game?
Oh, believe me.
I want him gone, but I think
what
also
has
stay.
Jerry Jones done since them boys has left? Nothing. So him running the team ain't doing no good. He got a lot of money, but hey, man.
Oh, he got a lot of money. All right, guys. You tell me if I'm right or wrong on that one. Michael says I'm wrong, and he's going to make fun of me when it fails.
No, not when it fails. When people are keeping their jobs and need to be fired.
All right. You heard it here. I'm Mark Holmes, bringing you the debate.